Hello and welcome to another edition of Las Vegas Pitch Presents. I've got a good friend of mine, John Cipolla, Cipolla, right?
Cipolla.
From New York. We're going to talk about a lot of things, but we're going to first get into market predictions, 2024 market predictions. I've been asking all the realtors. I don't always believe all the pundits out there and the experts and the economists and all that kind of stuff. I like boots on the ground.
Yes.
And John, you are absolutely boots on the ground. You help renters and buyers. And what are you thinking for this 2024 market? What's going to happen this year?
I'm like super excited for the 2024 market. I am. Interest rates, as we know, has dropped a little bit, bringing more buyers out, hopefully more sellers.
Yes.
I know that's a big point of discussion is the interest rates, but, we all have to look at, where the interest rates are going to go. I believe they're going to probably drop down to maybe around 5, maybe by the summer, which I would like to think that.
Awesome.
I would like to think that.
Yeah.
But as we know, the lower the interest rate goes, we see more and more activity in the market. We see a lot of building in Vegas. It's a tremendous city. There's so much building out here, and it's a thriving city, and that's what I love about it here.
Yeah. So you've been in the New York market. You've been in California market.
Right.
Obviously, you've got your New York accent. I can hear it. So what do you think the differences are? Why are people coming to Vegas? What's the allure of Vegas right now?
I think the main thing is affordability compared to other markets. It's all relative, as we were discussing, where you come from. In New York, Long Island, where I grew up, it's home prices are much higher than here. Median home price is over $500,000 there, but that's something that you would need to basically gut the house and start all over again.
You don't really want to move into that house.
No, not necessarily. Property taxes are the highest in the country. You're talking about average property taxes in New York. People are.
That's Oregon.
Parts of the country. It's the affordability, it's the lifestyle, it's what the city offers. I think the city offers so much for so many people. You have, of course, you have the casino world. You have entertainment. So there's a lot to offer. And coming from another area, it really amazes me what's out there. It really does.
Well, and you have a different perspective, right? Coming from maybe a little bit higher end market to the median home price. What's a median home price approximately in Las Vegas now?
Sold homes about $450,000.
450. Yeah. Can you get a decent home for $450,000?
Oh yeah. I mean, you could definitely get something that's move-in ready. With very little, if any, updating renovations.
Yeah.
That's unheard of in other markets I've worked in.
And then you talked about some new construction in Las Vegas, and that's another item where Vegas is growing. They are able to build new homes.
Right.
Are there some affordable homes, do you believe, in the new build arena?
There are, because there's so many builders out there, and there's so many new complexes being built. New, what do they call them? I'm losing my train of thought. In terms of
townhomes. And
you got different. You have townhomes. You have condos. You have single story. 2-story homes.
Right.
So that's the other thing. I think the biggest thing that I've seen is the choice that you have out here, because in other markets there's limited choices. Here you have a wide array of choices. From, once again, condos, townhouses, homes, and it's not like there's one section where you can choose from. They're building everywhere.
Yeah.
So it calls out to everyone.
So why did you move to Vegas? I mean, you got here and you're like, what was bringing you here? What was the biggest?
I've always loved Las Vegas. I lived in California.
Who doesn't? I love it too.
It's a great city. I lived in California for over 20 years. Came out here a lot. I have relatives here, my cousin and his wife. That's who I work for, LA Real Estate Group, Michael Majura and Leanna Alvarez. Great people. And, I definitely needed to change. I was in New York and I felt like too much was changing there. And I had an opportunity to work with them, and I said, "Oh, I'm coming out here."
Yeah. So there you go. And I love the energy of Las Vegas right now.
Yes,
It is just
yes.
like there's so much going on. You got, the F1 that was just here.
Mhm.
You got the CES, the big
Yes, yep,
electronic, and
yep.
now you have the Super Bowl
Yeah.
coming up. You had the rodeo that
Mhm.
came.
Yeah.
I mean, this place has it all.
And that's exactly what I think attracts everyone to it. It's what the city offers. It's the affordability of the city. And once again, if you can't afford something in maybe Summerlin, let's say, you have so many other options that you can go to.
Right.
I think that's what draws everybody here. Really.
Yeah, and I talk to clients all day long,
Mhm.
right? And it's basically, you talk to them about the income that they have. And a lot of people now, it's a little bit different than it used to be. Some people can still work from home,
Yes.
but live
Yes.
in a different state, and
Mhm.
that's what's happening. They're bringing their better income
Right.
into Nevada
Right.
and being able to afford a mortgage payment
Right.
that they couldn't afford maybe in New York,
Mhm.
maybe in California, all that stuff. So I think the affordable mortgage payments, while that's a big discussion out there amongst buyers because of the higher interest rates,
Yeah.
that interest rates can come down. If your
Right.
prediction is right at 5%, I would love that.
I would, I mean, that
But-
would be amazing to see that. Obviously, I think a lot of people are waiting for the 3% again, which I know I've said it before. A lot of people kind of scoff at it. We're never going to see 3% again. I don't believe we're ever going to see 3% again. But I think what we were discussing earlier is you have to look at the long-term goal. We had an investor that we sold their house back in April. They bought it 5 years ago for about $225,000. We just sold it for $430,000.
Not a bad little profit.
Yeah, 5
Yeah.
years you made over $200,000.
Yeah.
They rented it the whole time. It was investment property for them. I think it's hard to find that in other markets. I really believe that, because in other markets, your median household, or median price, I should say, is 200,000 higher or
Right.
300,000 higher. So now you're putting more down. Yeah, there's more invested into that, and your return on investment in terms of rent is you're probably not going to cover it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, what I see, there's more than 4 million people that come to Vegas every single year, whether it's vacation or
Mhm.
conferences, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And so the exposure to Las Vegas is huge.
Right.
And now with people being able to work from home,
Mhm.
this spot is a perfect place for them to basically grow.
Oh yeah.
And so I think, obviously we're big on Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So move to Las Vegas. We love it here. So
Yeah.
let's get into a little bit about the future of Las Vegas and what you think is going to happen, here. First part of the year, you gave your prediction. What do you think is going to happen 2025 and beyond?
I mean, based on what I see happening in 2023 and now happening in 2024, I just think the city is going to become a bigger and bigger metropolis, as it already has.
It's a metropolis.
Yeah.
It used to be the Strip. Now
Right,
it's becoming a
right. And
metropolis.
that's exciting for me, because I really do see such growth and such energy in the city. Once again, not to be negative about other places, but Long Island, is built out already. They're not doing a lot of building. There's not a lot of that energy. I feel it here, and I drive around, I check out new builds, I check out all that stuff. It's almost seems limitless, the possibility. So getting back to your question, 2025, 2026, I just see, the whole city just growing and, bringing a lot of great people here.
Yeah, and it's great because there is some land. I mean, we're a little bit landlocked in certain areas,
Right.
but there's a lot of land that's owned by the state that can be released, and they've started to release some of that land
Right.
for more development. Some people obviously don't want the growth,
Right.
but the reality is Las Vegas is going to grow. I think we're going to also get an NBA team.
Yes.
I want that NBA team. The Oakland A's are here, but now they're the Vegas A's. Yeah. So.
I mean, look what's happened just in the last few years, right? The Raiders came here, right? Well, Golden Knights have been here, 6, 7 years?
The Golden Knights started this. They're the
so
top.
it's amazing what's happening. I haven't been here, obviously, 30, 40, 50 years. So I don't have that reference of what Vegas was like back then. So for me,
Frank Sinatra.
yeah. So for me, it's like I come into this now, and I've seen the progression over the years. Because, like I said, when I lived in California, I'd come out here a couple times a year. I've seen it built out.
Yes.
But it's different when you live here full time compared to when you visit for a few days or a week or whatever it may be. I mean, I've seen the growth of the city, but I don't have that inherent, experience of living during that growth.
Yeah.
Now I'm seeing growth just in the short time I've been here.
Oh,
and that's what I'm excited about, to see where it all goes.
Yeah, I think it's limitless. I think there's more people going to come here. I think the exposure of everybody that comes and vacations here,
Mhm. Yep.
it's like opens your eyes to like, wow, this is more than just the Las Vegas Strip. It is a community
Yes.
that people want to be in. The other thing, because I used to appraise commercial real estate.
Okay.
And I used to
Wow.
do subdivisions and all that kind of stuff. And the way Las Vegas set up the infrastructure for roads,
Yes.
for the
yes,
utilities, the streets that they put in for future growth. I mean, it is really set up to really expand in a very meaningful and really just a normal way.
Yes.
It should
yes.
be very easy.
And a lot
to
of
grow.
cities, I'm talking about all over the country. I've been all over the country. I've driven cross country many times. Infrastructure is like the last thing they think about.
Yes.
Here, I could see already, just in new builds, you could see up in the northwest part of the valley, the infrastructure goes in first. They build everything out. Then they put the build in. Then they put the homes in. That's the way you got to do it.
Yeah, they did a great job, and they made the freeways wide enough so that they can add more lanes.
Right.
So it's been good. Well, John, last words. If you have somebody, a buyer that is looking for a home right now, what would be your recommendation in terms of their process getting into the housing market?
Well, first and foremost, you got to get a pre-approval.
You know what? I can help them with that.
Yes. People think the pre-approvals are not worth their time, but I've always looked at it as a great roadmap, like a blueprint in a sense. Because why would you go and look at a house for $650,000 when technically you can only be pre-approved for $5 and change?
Right.
So you're spending your time, wasting your time, whatever you want to call it. You're wasting the realtor's time. You get a pre-approval with someone like yourself. You know exactly what you can afford. You can focus in on those homes and not look at 12 other homes that you're never going to buy anyway.
Right.
That's the key. In this market right now, as you know, there's not a lot of buyers right now. It's a great time to buy. I've said this so many times. People don't think so. You have less competition right now. You're not seeing 10, 15, 20 offers, bidding wars. As we all know, as interest rates go down, when more and more buyers come out, you're going to start seeing that. Now you're going to see 20, 30 people looking at a home, not 3 or 4 people.
And we're seeing seller concessions where the seller's paying closing costs. And it's just, less buyers means it's easier to get into a home. It still feels to some people like, oh, it's too high, but I believe you. I think with rates drop, you're going to see values go up.
Yeah. And like you said, I've seen so many amazing things. There's lenders that are buying down loans for people to get them in. Like you said, seller concessions. I mean, when prime time buying season hits, you're not going to see those deals anymore. This is the time to buy.
Yeah.
And people are just waiting.
They're waiting. Well, John, great predictions, great advice. We
Thank you.
appreciate you joining us on Las Vegas
It was my
Pitch.
pleasure. My pleasure.
And we'll see you next time on Las Vegas Pitch